Before we get going with Uncle Paul and the Major League Baseball report, just want to tell you about the Central Indiana Sports Report's daily report, our Sports Center style scoreboard show for high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana every weekday at 1 o'clock. And starting this week, we are going to have our weekend preview on Fridays and our weekend review every Monday. That's our new format. Please check them out. You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Reports podcast number 240.3, the Major League Baseball Report with Uncle Paul.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Uncle Paul, our baseball expert. Paul, not a lot of teams have really made their mark yet. Not a lot of teams have really said, hey, we're contenders, but some teams in the National League West sure have.
They certainly have. And I guess you always ask me about my most surprising team. I guess it would have to be the San Francisco Giants this week.
Absolutely. They're just hanging right in there with the best of them.
It is amazing. And their batting average is, I looked it up, not very high. But they're figuring out ways.
Well, pitching, really, really good pitching so far for the Giants. Not quite as good as the Padres, but
No, exactly. As a matter of fact, people talk about pitching all the time, but I did look up some facts that the Padres have the highest batting average, and the White Sox have the lowest batting average. So maybe the pitching kind of works out for itself, and you need to hit to win these games. So
and the Dodgers are 15-7, which is really good, but they certainly haven't looked like the giant everyone expected.
no, and apparently they had trouble closing their game this afternoon, losing in the ninth inning.
Yeah, you asked me a couple of weeks ago if they were going to be going for the record number of wins, and do you remember my
Yeah,
response?
you said no way, didn't
I
you?
said absolutely not.
That's what I remember
Absolutely
you
not.
being. Yes, and that looks prescient for
Yeah.
sure.
It's just I don't know if we're in an era where teams are gonna even be willing to put the same lineup on the field every night and go for it every night like they used to.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you had to win 100 games just to get into the postseason, a lot of years,
Yeah,
just winning your division.
you can certainly play around with the pitching to see who can get the critical outs later on. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely, there. I just don't. It would be almost impossible for a team to win 120 games now.
Yes,
I,
I think that's right. Yes,
But speaking of good pitching so far, man, the New York Mets, what is that?
that is unbelievable, is it not? They've been underperforming at the plate, but it doesn't seem to matter. They have the same record as the Dodgers now, so they could almost be in the National League West.
Or well, let's talk about some offenses because you're Chicago Cubs.
That was a crazy game yesterday, was it not?
Yeah, they're putting up runs every night. I did
It
not
is.
expect this offense, and yeah, the Diamondbacks too. Yeah, 13-11. Uh,
I think the Cubs are going to do fine, except they do need some late inning relief help, I believe.
um,
To give up 10 runs in the eighth inning of a baseball game,
and don't you think they even need some starting help?
yeah, although it's been better than I would have imagined. So
Yeah,
yes,
you're right.
they probably do need some help.
Staying in the National League, let's talk about your Red Legs. Talking about pitching, their pitching, well, today was not a good one.
Oh,
You don't,
Hunter Green! Hunter Green just looked untouchable. I don't know what happened to him in Baltimore today, but
he
that
did.
was quite surprising. I'm glad I was not in Las Vegas because I would have put a hefty wager on Hunter Green doing putting up a bunch of zeros in Baltimore. So,
Especially if the Reds put up 3 runs in the first 2 innings,
isn't it?
you
Yeah.
would think this is the day that they're going to win one. And this team, the Reds team, is still inconsistent. I'm seeing it though. This is a team that's going to take off this year.
So
I'm pretty
you are
sure.
encouraged then.
I am very encouraged, particularly with the arms. The 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 depth of the arms is what impresses me. They just
Yeah, they've been great. Just everyone, it's just their timing seems to be bad. They score 7 runs and they lose 11 to
that's right.
7 to the Mariners. After those 1-0 games earlier. So, yeah, if they can get some regular at bats, Austin Hayes has been a nice little shot in the
Yeah.
arm there.
Yeah,
So that
I told producer Susie today that the Reds are a Matt McClain resurgence away from having a pretty good offense, I think.
so you're predicting next week? Here comes Matt McLean, huh?
Well, I haven't seen it happen for about 600 days now, so I'm
Next, you're going to tell me that Candelario is going to start hitting.
every day he's in the lineup, I just assume they're going to lose.
You certainly don't want him up with runners on second and third and one out.
Uh, every day, I think I check the lineup to see if he's going to play, and if he is, uh, I just don't think that's ever a good situation. Someone said,
uh,
I think it was Barry Larkin today on the telecast said he's consistent, and I'm like, yeah, consistently 220, and
exactly. That's right.
he is consistent indeed. Yeah, but they go
hmm
to the Marlins and the Rockies coming up, and then they got the Cardinals at home. So if he's going to start, this is the time to get
This
the
would be
job
this would
done.
be a good time. Yes, this should be a pick me up week here. So yes,
And really, no one has really made their move. It looks like in the American League, but you got to be pretty happy with where the Yankees are at this point.
I would have said that a couple hours ago, but
Yeah.
Devin Williams, who can't be trusted in a save opportunity, came in the today's game with a 4-run lead, and the Yankees lost the game.
Mm,
So yes, that might not have been the best signing. Brewers fans might feel a little bit better about letting Devin Williams sign with another team. I'm not. I don't know, but
I
he
would
looks a little
guess.
shaky.
I would guess, Paul, that Devin Williams will be Devin Williams again one day. His stuff is just too good, but maybe he's just done.
He certainly did not have it against what's really been an anemic Tampa Bay Rays. But we shouldn't dwell on these terrible performances. They have been they are in first place, which is mildly surprising.
First place in the entire American League, tied with the Tigers and Rangers. So
Oh, look
looks
at you!
like some of those teams that we predicted at the beginning of the year near the top. But again, there are
That's
no teams,
exactly.
and the White Sox are the only team in the entire American League more than 5.5 games behind first.
Well, look at. I guess that's about right, isn't it? Huh.
That's
I
right.
did. I did make a note the other night. The Rangers won a game, and something really struck me. A pitcher won his first major league game. That's your guy Rocker. Uh,
Okay.
no relation to John Rocker. His first win, MLB win, and then they trotted out a guy who to get his first major league save in the same game.
In the same game.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. So
I can't imagine that happens very often.
couldn't happen very often. Yes, this is why a Cubs eighth inning game or a game like that, you just need to remind yourself to go out to the ballpark because you just never know what's going to happen.
That's right. And it would be much more likely at the end of the season, call up time, but it's not even that time of the season, so
Oh, exactly. Yes, indeed.
it's a very strange thing. Any players, teams that have been a positive or
I'm
negative?
completely worried about the Atlanta Braves, who seem to have won a couple of games, but they've called up Alex Verdugo, and for the second day in a row, they have placed Alex Verdugo as their leadoff hitter
Mm,
after he went 0 for 5 in his first one. And if you need a ground ball to the second baseman that's slow enough that can't be a double play, Alex Verdugo is
he's
your
your guy.
guy.
He is your guy.
But otherwise, I wouldn't put him on my double A team right now. So I'm a bit concerned about the Braves,
Yeah,
given
but
given that
those,
that's where they are.
yeah, their offense has been bad, but those arms are pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is nice to have
I wouldn't
some of
want to
those
count them
arms.
out.
That's correct. With Strider and Sale and the boys, yeah, the
Yeah,
Schwellenbach's been good too. So
and their bullpen's been pretty good. So, you know, it's pretty bad when you've got only given up 82 runs and you only have 6 wins. That's
yes, that is something. Yes.
all right, Paul. You were telling me you have something interesting.
I just found out, although you probably know this, and maybe everybody in central Indiana knows this as well, but I just found out that Ken Griffey Jr. is right handed. When he golfs right handed. When he plays tennis, he hits the
Wow.
ball right handed. The only two things he writes right handed. The only thing that he does left handed is throw a baseball and hit a baseball.
Well, that is just odd. How does
So,
that
okay,
happen?
so you did not know that.
No.
Well, his explanation is that he was placed in a seat early in his academic season. This is what he claims. It's hard to believe, but he sat in a desk that was easier for him to. The writing surface was on his left, so he learned how to do things left-handed. But somehow
Wow.
he somehow he was right-handed all along. So
And has the most beautiful left-handed swing in the
that's
history of.
exactly right. And his father is left-handed, but he is right-handed. So
All right,
I
I'm
don't
gonna.
I don't know if we have time to contemplate that trivia, but I thought it might be interesting to baseball people. So
Yeah, we
it
have a lot of
stunned
Reds
me.
fans around here. That's for
There
sure.
you go. There you go, Reds fans. Although I hope you don't get all the feedback. Like, don't waste time on things I already know.
We've got an even more amazing Ken Griffey Jr. true fact next week that we didn't verify until after we got done with our conversation, but is a true story and unbelievable. So, um, every week, I guess, on the Major League Baseball report with Uncle Paul, you'll get a Ken Griffey Jr. true fact. I don't think either one of us are huge Ken Griffey Jr. fans either. It just kind of happened this way. What we are both are huge baseball historians. Thank you so much to Uncle Paul for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report. Maybe my favorite 15 minutes of the week doing this podcast. And thank you for listening. If you'd like to see the Central Indiana Sports Report continue to grow and thrive, please share these podcasts with your friends and family. We humbly thank you in advance. And please have the best Easter ever. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I Love Season.